Hey everyone, good afternoon for many of you. Good morning to a lot of you that are on a different coast that I am. I am Andrea Owen. I run the joint over here at Your Kick-Ass Life. If you are brand new to me, I am also the author of a couple of books. I've been talking over the last actually many weeks. If some of you catch my videos here over on Facebook, whether you're here live or you watch the replay, I've been talking a lot about my other book that I wrote, 52 Ways to Live a Kick-Ass Life. The last couple of weeks, I have been talking to you about this book, How to Stop Feeling Like Shit, and sharing with you. Last week, I talked about kind of my story and what brought me to personal development in general. And this week, I'm going to talk to you about, excuse me, I'm getting a phone call. Go away for now, please. Gotta love live video. This week, I'm talking to you about what it means to show up. That is a term that we use a lot in personal development. And every time I find myself using jargon a lot over here, with my clients or people, with the women that I talk to, I like to stop myself and remind myself that they might not know what I'm talking about. And I think that showing up might be one of those things. And before I get into it, I did a podcast episode a few weeks ago. Some of you may have listened to it, where the title of it was, "Are You Half-Assing Your Personal Development?" And what I meant by that, and trust me, like, I was someone who did that for a long time. I was just talking to someone this morning. I was being interviewed, and I was telling her, for a long time, like, I knew where my struggle was. Like, I knew I struggled with codependency. I knew I struggled with control and perfectionism. And I liked the idea of help with that. I liked, in theory, I liked personal development. I liked to read the books, but I was not necessarily putting anything into action. Before I go any further, I want to say that your journey is your journey. I just posted on Instagram a few days ago, give people the dignity of their process. And I think that also everyone has kind of a pain tolerance of how much pain and suffering and struggle they can tolerate before they decide to actually change their life. Because it's easy to say, oh, I'm ready to change my life. But when it really comes down to shining the light and doing the work, that's a completely different story. We talk about that a lot if any of you follow my recovery series on the podcast. Like, there is a difference between sobriety and recovery. You can stop doing the symptoms, like doing the things, but to really heal from them and do the hard work, looks a little bit different. So again, all that to say, to summarize, your journey is your journey. If you are someone who is kind of half-assing your personal development and you like the idea of doing the work but haven't jumped in yet, that's okay. You're normal. That's how a lot of us are. And maybe this is your sign that it's time. Maybe this is your invitation to come with us into the deep end of the pool where the hard work is. But I think that everybody has to get to a point in their life where they're done, where they have had enough, they have reached their limit of pain and struggle, and they are ready to actually show up. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. So in the very beginning of my book, in the introduction, really, there's a section called How to Get the Most out of this book. And I talk about showing up. So I'm going to read to you just a couple of paragraphs of what I mean by showing up for those of you who may be a little bit confused by this statement. And if you also, during this video, I know there's several of you on live, if you have any questions or want to just drop in your favorite emoji, I always like saying people, there's so many new emojis out right now, you guys. What is going on? And please, can I pause a moment? And does anybody else spend a lot of time sometimes looking for a certain emoji? There needs to be a solution for this. Anyway, I know you can type in the word sometimes and the emoji pops up and that's helpful, but there's got to be a better way. Maybe there'll be an infomercial about it. But I would love for you to hear your questions or just pop in and say hi in the comments or post your favorite emoji. All right, so showing up. You'll read a few chapters that include the phrase show up, and it may seem obvious, right? Let me break it down for you. Showing up is being willing to engage with something uncomfortable when you'd rather back off and say nope. When you show up, you allow yourself to feel scared and awkward and out of your element, but you also feel inspired. You dig deep, do the work, and feel brave all at the same time. That's what it means to show up. In your daily life, when you face a difficult and uncomfortable situation, negative self-talk, a conversation with an ornery coworker that sucks but is necessary, difficult kids, you have two choices. One, you can do nothing and feel like shit and be scared and everything will stay the same. Or two, you can accept that you're uncomfortable, but be brave and scared at the same time and see real change. Did you notice that both of those choices include being scared? Because we can't go through life and be brave and live kick-ass lives without fear being a part of the mix as well. And last thing, by showing up and doing the work, you're making a declaration that you're tired of being mean to yourself and engaging in habits that make you feel bad and that you're ready to change. I commend you to the nth degree for that. When you make that final declaration of, I'm tired of being a chronic people pleaser and approval seeker. I'm tired of self-sabotaging. I'm tired of numbing out. I'm ready to see what it might look like to do something different. That is brave. You're making the decision. And again, it may be messy and you may kind of put it off for a while or whatever, but even that declaration is an act of courage. And I also wanted to say that I might have said this in the last video too, but I think it's so important. And I'm saying this on every single interview when I talk about this book. This book is not about, here are all the things you're doing wrong and you need to change them. This book is about, here are the 14 behaviors that all of us engage in. You probably won't identify with all of them, but definitely a handful. Here they are. Let's normalize them. Let's all raise our hands and say, yes, I do that too. And here are some ways to be aware quickly when you're in it. So that, self-awareness, I always say self-awareness is half the battle. Let's get there because that's huge. And then here are some tools and strategies to choose other behaviors that are more in alignment with the person that you want to be. Because I guarantee you, you will fall back on all of those other behaviors. And I think that in self-help, I don't know about you all, but I have found, raise your hand if you have found this to be true. You read a self-help book and you get that awareness and then you're like, oh my God, it's so bad. How am I ever going to be different? I know I've read some relationships books and I'm like, oh my God, there's no hope for me. And I don't want that to happen for you. I want to just normalize these behaviors. So for those of you that don't know, some of the main ones are isolating and hiding out, numbing out, negative self-talk, perfectionism, people-pleasing and approval-seeking, overachieving, control, self-sabotage. And again, these are things that we all do. And I wanted to give you solutions to them and for you to know that you're not alone and for you to have massive self-awareness so that you can get out in front of it as soon as you see it happening and choose something that feels better. Because all those behaviors feel like shit, right? And that's where the title came from. Every time I would talk about them, I would say something like, we do these things because we think they're working. And for some time, they do work. They do work. But we do these things because we think they're protecting us. We think that they are making our lives better, but in essence, at the end of the day, they are making us feel like shit. So hopefully that clarifies of what showing up actually looks like. It means doing the work, whether that's with self-help books or a therapist, actually doing the things that your therapist suggests. It's doing the assignments, each chapter at the end of each chapter has a set of questions at the end of them. So showing up would be actually answering the questions. Not necessarily that you're going to go out and completely change your life. These are turtle steps, right? You've been acting a certain way for decades. It's going to take a minute to change. Even just being honest with yourself and telling the truth with a capital T can make big changes in your life. So also, if you pre-order the book before January 2nd, I am doing a drawing, a giveaway where I'm giving away a bunch of prizes for anyone that shares about the book on social media. Super easy to sign up for that. It's just like clickety click, click, click. And I'm going to drop the link in here for that. What you have to do is once you pre-order the book, you go back to this page that I'm going to tell you about. It's at yourkickasslife.com/HTS FLS is the acronym for the book. And you click on claim your bonuses. And there's a way that you tell us how you bought the book. And then we have bonuses. And then you get entered to win this really cool drawing. On January 2nd, I'm going to come back here live with my son. We're going to be traveling and he's going to help me do the drawing. And we're going to announce the winners. Again, you don't have to be there live to get your prize. We'll email you. And then also I have a 4-week book study. And I know so many of you are already waiting to join the Facebook group that opens in a few weeks now. I don't want you to just read this book and consume the information and be like, that sounds nice, and go on with your life. I'm here for you, the author that wrote this book. I am offering a free 4-week book study that starts January 22nd for anyone who has purchased the book before that. So it is coming out on audiobook. Also, I know I have a lot of Australian people who follow me, so it's going to be over there too, which is very exciting. And that's the same link that you can sign, that I'm going to pop in there, that you can sign up for that. It's a month long. I'm guiding you every step of the way. There's PDF worksheets. We are in this together. This is showing up, right? So thank you so much for being here on another Thursday at noon. I so appreciate you guys showing up here live. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time, I will see you out in cyberspace. Bye, everybody. Oh, comments. Okay, Kelly. Hey, Kelly. Can't wait for the book. Thank you. Lynette is here. Holly Lynn, thank you for this. Exactly what I need to hear this morning. I'm so, so, so glad. And Courtney Nestor. Hey, Courtney. I like your emoji. What is that one, Courtney, that you posted above? I can't even see it. Maybe that's the head explosion one. I love the head explosion one. I use that one a lot. They also have a throwing up one now, which they did not before, which is very important, right? Okay, everybody. Thank you for having fun with me. Thank you for showing up. And I wish you the best. See you out in cyberspace. Bye-bye.